The prior administration dismantled our nation's immigration system in its entirety.
Oh, my God.
When I started 27 days ago, I learned that we did not have the facilities available or equipped to administer the humanitarian laws that our Congress passed years ago. We did not have the personnel, policies, procedures, or training to administer those laws. Quite frankly, the entire system was gutted. In addition, they tore down the Central American Minors Program that allowed children to access laws of protection without having to take the perilous journey north. They cut off funding to the Northern Triangle countries of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. No planning had been done to protect the frontline personnel of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection and other frontline personnel that address the needs of individuals coming to our border. Contracts had been entered that were unlawful or against the interests of the United States Department of Justice. And that's just the tip of it.
Oh, my God. So, yes, we had a program where you could apply for asylum in your own home country. You did not have to come all the way through Central America, through Mexico, into the United States. You could apply for asylum in your home country. And we were talking about this when Donald Trump was separating children last time, saying, why did he dismantle that? Why wouldn't he want them to stay at home and apply for asylum there? Because they wanted the freaking issue. They wanted to show cruelty to their supporters, because their supporters, the Trumpists, the Trumpansies, all they know is cruelty and violence, as you can see when the terrorists, the real ones, attacked the Capitol of the United States of America. Now, I don't know where his border wall is. I don't know why it didn't stop everything from how are little children getting through the border wall? How are families making their way over the border? He wanted spikes on that thing. He painted it black so it would be hot in the sun. I don't know, but it didn't do jack crap. Okay, it didn't do one thing. So they cut funding for these three Northern Triangle countries, and when we should be investing in, one of the things that building Mexico's economy helped with Mexican immigration. Why would people want to do this if they could make a living where they have a culture and a family? Well, the answer is they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Hence, we need some sort of an investment, some sort of a Marshall Plan for these three Northern Triangle countries. And the weird thing is that when we did it for Mexico and it worked, Donald Trump went the other way and said, I'm cutting off all funding. Then they had two hurricanes, and look at what happened. I mean, come on, this is crazy. This makes no sense that you... Anyway, what the Trump administration ended up doing was giving children to the traffickers. The prior administration completely dismantled the asylum system. And when the facilities were closed, and when the asylum system was gutted, and when they cruelly expelled young children, they ended up in the hands of traffickers. So let's not pretend that we don't know that, because now you do. And we have to rebuild all of these border safety. We have to build them back from scratch.
It takes time to rebuild an entire system and to process individuals at the border in a safe and just way. That is especially true when we're in the midst of the pandemic and are obligated, of course, to adhere to the restrictions and procedures that have been promulgated by the CDC to ensure public safety, including the safety of the individuals who arrive at our border. It takes time to build out of the depths of cruelty that the administration before us established. What we are seeing now at the border is the immediate result of the dismantlement of the system and the time that it takes to rebuild it virtually from scratch.
and in the 27 days that Alejandro Mayorkas has been our Department of Homeland Security Secretary, we have been able to provide additional oversight and additional personnel and a facility in Donna, Texas. We have identified a facility that we could build in Dallas and a facility in Midland, Texas, out there in West Texas. And so we're looking in Arizona, too, to build shelters for unaccompanied children, working with Mexico to increase its ability to accept expelled families, because we are expelling families. I just every single year, and depending on, how cruel the Republicans are allowed to get, you will either see this problem persist in a humane way, in the most humane way possible when you're talking about 6 and 7 year olds, or if they're allowed to get like uber cruel, which they were in the last administration, you'll see, babies being ripped from literally the breasts of their mothers. Literally. Disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, and yesterday we ended with a guy from West Virginia saying, I don't understand what is the difference between opening up states so people can get to work and allowing all these immigrants into our country with COVID. Every single person that's being accepted, which are only minors, unaccompanied, have and will be tested before they are allowed out of quarantine. Just so you know. And 49% of Trump supporters, male, will not get a vaccine. They just refuse. Here you have something that would keep them out of the hospital, keep them from being a burden, and they won't do it. They won't do it. But yes, these kids are all being tested for COVID, and they're socially distanced and quarantined, and that adds another layer of space that we need, another issue to deal with, the distancing, the social distancing between these kids. So everybody is tested, then they're processed, then they're transported safely out of the hands of traffickers to a port of entry, and then they're staying entirely too long in Border Patrol where there is no place for children. It's the cages again. It's the jail cells again. And they're staying there entirely too long because Donald Trump destroyed any facility that would be able to accommodate a child. So now we have to go out and look for new facilities and logistically create an entire infrastructure for these children this year. That's what's going on. And that's why FEMA is establishing new facilities. This one in Donna, Texas, it can hold 700 kids. This is the kind of work that has to be redone because of the cruelty of that bastard.